What do I eat in a day? I'll show you, plus a health confession I have to make. So you guys have seen me talking about this supplement and that supplement and talking about all the different popular diets that are out there. But I've been getting a lot of comments and messages from some of you asking, what the heck do I eat in a day? And what's my daily health routine like? Well, today I'm here to tell you, with the help of my partner Noom, who's sponsoring this video today, what my daily routine is, what it includes and why. And Noom is going to help me track all my food during the day and activity. Stick around and we'll get into all of it. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Jordan Wagner. I'm an emergency room doctor who treats everything from COVID to gunshot wounds, burns, you name it. I've created this video series to help answer some of your medical questions and the questions that I get from patients each and every day. If you find this video helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe. So here's the deal. I have tried it all. I've done intermittent fasting, eaten vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, paleo, keto, and even full-on carnivore diets. And with all those eating experiences, I've come up with what I believe to be the healthiest and best food options that work best for me right now, as well as a health routine that makes the most sense for my schedule. And I'll be sharing it with you all since you've been asking, so here we go. A question from one of you in the comments is, what is on my agenda today? My daily agenda changes from day to day for multiple reasons. As an ER doctor, my schedule changes almost daily, and no week is the same as the next. One week I may be on morning shifts, and the next week I may be on overnights. So my plan needs to be modified to accommodate this ever-fluctuating schedule. But being consistent enough where no matter what time I'm getting up in the morning, I can repeat it and have it be easily repeatable. And like anyone out there watching, some days I will have more energy than others. For example, I actually just came off of a cluster of overnight shifts. This may change the time my alarm goes off each day, but it doesn't change the fact that I have to get these same tasks done from week to week, and I have a job to show up to do. Anyway, before I go too far down the rabbit hole, the question was, what is my agenda today? The typical day starts off first with kissing my wife good morning, brushing my teeth, feeding my cat Bond, and being grateful for the day. Weightlifting or cardio, which means the workout bike and the bench with weights in our home, and then work. And if I'm not working in the hospital in the emergency room, typically I'm doing things like working on this YouTube channel that you're watching, completing hospital paperwork, which I call charts and notes, and also try to squeeze in playing a round of golf when I can. Next question that I saw in the comments, what do I eat for breakfast? On any given day, I start with a protein shake with about 20 grams of protein. I use a vegan protein, but sometimes I'll also use whey. I'll also eat oatmeal and a large spoonful of almond butter, or a whole wheat English muffin with almond or peanut butter if I'm in need of bread carbs. If you do an easy internet search with wellness and dieting, you will always see people or experts talking about macros. This breakfast combo hits my macros. And I cannot forget coffee. I drink coffee straight black, no added sugars, milk, creamers, or flavors. Most of those add unnecessary calories. I'm just not a fan. Although full disclosure, sometimes I do add 2 ice cubes to my brew to cool it down so I can just drink it right away. I used to do intermittent fasting and feel it has a lot of health benefits. Not sure what it is? Well, intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. It doesn't specify which foods you should eat, but rather when you should eat them. In this respect, it's not a diet in the conventional sense, but more accurately described as an eating pattern. Why do I sometimes do intermittent fasting? Well, I looked at this type of eating for the long-term benefit, which has to do with longevity, not weight loss or weight control for me. But here's the deal. When I eat this way, I would often justify eating anything I wanted in that feeding window and would then eat too much, and then my calories would go way over my recommended daily calculated amount, which in turn would make me gain weight. Before lunch, I have a simple snack, typically a small apple and 2 string cheese, or a handful of almonds with about 1 ounce. I get a hard time at work for my coworkers because I bring in applesauce in those kid packets, but that serves 2 purposes. One, it's super easy to take on the go, and also to know exactly how much I'm eating. And number 2, it is cleaner than eating an apple, especially on the go and in the hospital. Not sure if everyone knows, but ER doctors don't get a designated break for eating, so it's super easy and quick. Lunch. So what do I eat for lunch on any typical day? Let me take my phone out and I'll show you. So my lunch on any typical day consists of a protein, veggies, a starch, carb, and fats, all at kind of a specific weight or amount, which then in terms gives me the grams of protein, carbs, and fats. So I'm going to show you right here what it looks like. So for lunch today, I had salmon fillet, and I had 4 ounces, so I logged that. I had broccoli, and I had about 5 ounces. Now that's cups, so let's move this over to ounces. 5 ounces there. And then I had sweet potato, and I had actually about, let's say, 10 ounces of sweet potato today. So looking at sweet potatoes, adjust my units here, super easy, as I use ounces, which is easier. And then I had an avocado. I had about a quarter. Boom, done. And so I've had all that, and it just calculates it for me and gives me my calories. So like I was saying, a typical meal for lunch would consist of chicken or fish, about 4 ounces. Then my veggie would normally be broccoli, 4 to 6 ounces, a sweet potato, and a small amount of avocado. That is my typical. Noom uses psychology-based curriculum. It's programmed to help its users lose weight and make lasting changes to their health. For example, let's say those cupcakes in the break room at work are screaming your name. Instead of going cold turkey on your sugary craving, you first identify the different triggers, thoughts, and feelings that might be triggering you to indulge those cupcakes. With that information, you then can understand what exactly keeps that behavior that you want to change going. Be sure to take your free 30-second quiz using the link in the description to get your Noom plan. Also, you can check them out on social media here as well. All right, another question that I get a lot is, what is my go-to post-workout snack? For a typical workout, my routine varies day to day, but my workout typically consists of the stationary bike at home for spinning classes, running, or basically lifting weights. For weight training, I typically do basically bench press, bicep curls, triceps. I squat a lot. I do push-ups, pull-ups. I have all that ability at the house, but it varies. So sometimes I want to do high weights, low reps to help build muscle mass. And then for more cardio, basically a little bit higher reps and the minimal amount of rest. So it's more like a type of cross training, circuit training type of lifting. Super easy to log. What is today? Let's get to today. Today is Monday. You can log anything. So you can even log your water. But as you can see on the app, you can horseback riding, inline skating, martial arts, P90X is even on here. I do like this one. We got ping pong. What happens when you open up ping pong? Hey, 30 minutes of ping pong burns 220 calories. My afternoon snack is similar to the morning snack, an apple and string cheese. You can search food like this in Noom's wide food database. So there's a lot of options, and this way it just keeps track of basically calories in and calories out. Enrolling in any type of nutrition tracking is easy, but for me, finding one that accurately reports calories is a tougher task. A study published in the Journal of Medical Internet Research actually compared 5 different nutritional databases and found Noom to be the most accurate. You don't want to be munching down that protein bar. Have a nutrition tracker tell you it's 100 calories when it's actually 150 calories. Accuracy matters when you're trying to watch your caloric intake or lose weight. All right, next question. What do I typically eat for dinner? So what I typically eat for dinner is very similar to what I eat for lunch, but with some extra food typically. So let's check it out on Noom here. Eaten dinner yet today, but we're gonna log it as if we're going to log it. So going into dinner, and so for me, dinner typically consists of about 6 ounces of protein. And so tonight, dinner is going to be chicken. So grilled chicken. And so they don't have it exactly. So what I can do is just go directly to ounces for me. And then we're gonna do about 7 ounces of sweet potatoes for myself. But what you can see as you're looking at this, just because I'm putting in the ounces, because it's easier for me to weigh it, When I do that, 7 ounces, it actually gives me a calorie count of that. And a little bit of avocado again for my fat intake. So now you can see that I have grilled chicken, steamed broccoli, sweet potatoes, and avocado, and the caloric amount on each side, and then it logs it for me. So the nice thing is when I set this up, I had a certain amount of calories that the program set for me based on wanting to lose a little bit of weight. And so it actually shows you the budget of what's left, how many calories more I can eat during the day. So if I can eat something sweet or savory or something that's healthy or maybe even not healthy, as long as it's staying within my calories. So I weigh my food and I eat about 5 times a day with my busy schedule, and it is super easy. You will also see there isn't much refined sugar in there. Something I need to confess to you guys though. I do in fact use a food scale. I know that seems crazy, obsessive for some of you, but my portion control is important because I love food, so I can get a little overboard. Especially on chocolate peanut butter cookies. Don't even get me started, but knowing exactly how much I'm eating helps to control things. Listen, it was so painful at first to get used to it, but now it is super easy. I can literally look at food and know what the appropriate amount to eat is. If you're really overwhelmed by the idea of logging your daily habits, it's just as easy to reach out to the folks at Noom Support, for instance. You can learn how to manage your account info, weight tracking, food logging, device syncing, and more. For me, one major key to successful weight loss is by surrounding myself with other individuals who have the same health and fitness goals. Noom provides these connections to its users in the form of group coaching that focuses on leading a group of Noomers and providing interaction, motivation, accountability, and insight into weight loss success. Now, I know some people tend to do better in a one-on-one setting, so along with a group setting, you will also receive the support of a one-on-one coach. This is your goal specialist who is dedicated to you and works on an individualized basis in order to reach your unique and specific goals. All right, so why does this eating pattern work for me, and who is it right for? Well, it's people like me who want some structure. Like I said before, because my workload and my schedule at the hospital is so irregular and inconsistent, it's super important for my personal day-to-day that I add in structure and the routine of eating healthy and keeping track of my health and fitness goals. When I do this and keep to it, I find myself feeling happier, my clothes even fit better, and overall just relieved that I can be in charge of fueling my body to live not just a healthy lifestyle, but also a long, healthy lifestyle. All right, my friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for asking questions and wanting to know what my daily agenda is and what my routine is and what are my health tips and what do I eat on a daily basis. Please subscribe to the channel and turn the bell notifications on. When you do that and you hit that like button, you let YouTube know that you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.